I'm Alistair Heath and I'm responding to some of the excellent reader comments on my latest article on immigration. So we begin with a comment from Tim Woofenden. Who's going to do all the jobs the Brits won't do? Who's going to pay into the system to fund pensions when Brits aren't having kids? Be careful what you wish for. I think there's two separate points here from Tim. The first is the traditional question, which is who's going to do all the work if we have fewer immigrants? My first answer to that is we need comprehensive welfare reform. Between 5 and 6 million adults are currently on out-of-work benefits. These are people, not in all cases, but in many cases, they could be working and they're not working as a result of the incentives embedded in the welfare state and also the tax system, perhaps a lack of training or some other issues. So I think we need a major welfare reform to encourage a lot of these people into work. The second point, the majority of people coming here are not actually workers. There's dependents also, there's students, there's people who are coming for other reasons. And the third issue you raise is pension fund situation. Well, the problem with that is, as is increasingly clear, that's a Ponzi scheme. Immigrants age too, so you bring them in, they eventually get older, and then the whole system falls over in any case. Even net zero immigration isn't the answer. We're mainly losing people who would be of benefit and gaining those who would not be. Well, John, I don't believe in zero immigration. I'm saying we need zero net immigration for 5 years and then to revert back to the low levels of net immigration we saw in the 1990s before Blair massively increased immigration in 1997. Clearly, some of the people arriving here are great. They're very beneficial to the labour market, to society in general. We also want to take in some refugees. But in any case, I believe in much less immigration. I think the volumes have been too high in recent years. When you have volumes that are this high, the whole system falls over and integration stops working. So there needs to be quite a radical shift. The reason why immigration is high is because of Brexit. Not having access to EU labour meant having to look elsewhere. Being outside the EU also means the boats can't be turned back. Well, Will, I disagree with all 3 points. Brexit has got nothing to do with why we have high levels of immigration. Brexit allowed us to control who came here. Before Brexit, we couldn't control who came here from the EU. We could only control who came here from outside the EU. Then we completely lost control of immigration over the last few years. Secondly, it's also not got anything to do with this ability to not turn the boats back. We can't turn the boats back because of various ECHR, UN refugee conventions and other reasons. I think we need to completely change the way we accept refugees. I think we should choose who we let in, and that requires a complete legal revolution, including leaving the ECHR. Steve Free writes, we're a Christian country with a monarchy. Only those who swear to abide by Christian values and revere the king can be allowed to apply. I disagree. Of course, we are a Christian origin country. We have an established Christian church. All our values and legal system are based on Christian values, but we are not a country that disallows religious freedom. Anybody of any religion should be able to be British, but I think the key point is that they need to accept the core values of our society. They need to buy into the democratic values, into the democratic institutions, into the rule of law. They need to want to be British. And I think that is how immigration policy has to change. It has to be a much more community-based form of citizenship. Us at the bottom carving out a living have had our wages fall due to more cheap labour. You at the top don't think of that. You won't see how it serves you and the country as a whole. Well, Bobby, obviously I don't agree, because the whole point of my article is to say that we need to reduce immigration. It is quite clear, I think, that in some industries there has been declines in real wages because of an increase in the supply of labour. I don't think that applies for the economy as a whole, but it certainly applies to a certain area. But I think that's not really the key reason why the wages are stagnant. The real problem with that is that productivity is not growing. We were told that immigration will boost productivity. It hasn't. As always, thank you to all our subscribers for your comments. Keep them coming, and we will try and get back to as many of you as possible.